y'all doing, people? Welcome to another episode of Synergy Talks. This is Mr. J Synergy reporting some pretty unfortunate news once again. Man, it seems like I can't get away from news like this. If it ain't celebrity shit going on, it's bad. It's world news, it's sad. So today's edition, unfortunately, it was a Dunkin' Donuts worker. It was a young black man. And shout out to the young man. At least he was working and trying to have a job, which is rare for a lot of people out here in their 20s. So he was trying to make a change, but unfortunately, this story does take a sad ending. Now, with that being said, seems like a former Dunkin' Donuts worker was working, and the customer came in there irate. Now, the person that works there was black, and the person that came in there was white. The person that was white was 77 years old. He was very upset and disgruntled about the service he has, so he blew on the inside of the restaurant. He came in there and said he's tired of getting ignored, and he called the black employee a racial slur. Witnesses and employees say the man asked the older white gentleman to repeat what he said, and when he repeated it, the employee punched the 77-year-old in the face inside of the restaurant at work. Now, when he does this, the older man falls down, hits his head on the floor, and is unconscious. At that time, the police was called. He explains the situation. Originally, he was charged with battery, a simple battery. Unfortunately, within the time from when the man was punched in the face and hit his head on the floor, he never regained consciousness. 3 days later, he actually died from the injuries because he had a skull fracture. So the charges was up on the 20-some-year-old man, and now he's facing a second-degree manslaughter. So once again, people, this is just some very unfortunate turn of events. I mean, with so much racial tension going on in the United States, and police brutality, and all type of killings and shootings, and war in Israel, and everything else we got going on, spirits inside of people. I mean, you just gotta really pick your battles and bite your tongue sometimes. Sometimes turn the other cheek is the best thing, because one little punch, fuck a gunshot. It don't even have to be a gunshot. One little punch can change your whole life. And unfortunately for this young man, I'm not gonna say he's justified because the victim was 77 years old, but at the same time, when you sit up there preaching hatred and want to call somebody something racial, man, you never know how a person will react. So with that being said, I have the footage about this story. Shout out to both families, because this is a loss for both families. It's a continued loss because it seems like we just can't get it right as far as coming together as a people in this country or in the world right now. It's a lot of racial tension in our country, and we have a lot of spiritual and religious wars going on overseas right now in Israel. So with that being said, I don't know how you believe, but I know one thing I do believe. The book of Revelation speaks about all these things, from the pandemic to the wars to the mothers killing kids, all type of hatred, no love going on in the world, all type of demons walking the world. People glorify death and hatred. So just keep your eyes open, people. Don't live in the matrix. Don't go for the okie doke, man. And whatever you believe in, hopefully it's something spiritual and positive. Always believe in your higher power, whatever you believe in. I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm just saying, open your eyes, people, and don't live in the matrix. I'm Mr. J Synergy, coming to you with this, like I said, sad story once again about a young man whose life is going to change forever, as well as the 77-year-old victim. So with that said, always try to do your best, and always remember that the fall will always be harder than the come up. So when you think it's hard getting to the top, just imagine how hard it's going to be when you fall. So with that being said, just make sure that you continue to stay up so you don't have to worry about the fall. I'm Mr. J Synergy. Much love to everybody. Make sure y'all stay tuned to the end. Continue to like, share, support, subscribe. Hit that like button at the least, Pass the information on. Let's keep this synergy going. Much love to everybody. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace.
Reaction to a racial slur has turned deadly, and now a Tampa Dunkin' Donuts employee is facing charges. Police say the fast food worker punched a 77-year-old man after he directed a number of those slurs at the employee. 3 days later, the elderly man has died. And Fox 13's Catherine Hawley is live in Tampa with more on the story. Catherine.
Corey Pujols is in jail tonight, charged with aggravated manslaughter. Tampa police say one punch caused that customer to fall and hit his head on the concrete floor, dying from his injuries just days later. Everything started last Tuesday around 1:30 p.m. in the drive-thru of this Dunkin on South 50th Street. Tampa police say a 77-year-old customer was upset over the lack of service he was receiving.
The victim parks the car, goes inside, and has an argument with the employee. Well, at that time, there was a racial slur that was thrown out at the employee, and the employee told the victim to say it one more time.
That employee was 27-year-old Corey Pujols. According to arrest paperwork, when the elderly man repeated the same racial slur, Pujols punched him once in the face.
The suspect ended up punching the victim so hard that he fell back, hit his head on the ground. And so when we arrived, he was unconscious and bleeding from the head where he had to be taken to the hospital.
Court documents say the man was rushed to the intensive care unit at TGH, being treated for head and brain injuries. He never regained consciousness, passing away Friday. A doctor told officers the man had a skull fracture and brain contusions.
This customer was a regular. He apparently came by that Dunkin' Donuts a lot.
Pujols told investigators the elderly man was being extremely rude that day. Police writing in the report, at no time did the decedent place his hands on the defendant or attempt to strike the defendant. Pujols was initially charged with battery that was upgraded to aggravated manslaughter after the 77-year-old died. And Pujols is set to be in court for that new charge this Thursday. Kelly.
All right, Catherine Hawley reporting for us tonight. Thank you, Catherine.